Hi guys, my name is Misa and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, please subscribe. I am very passionate about helping you enhance your foundation routine. Today we are going to go over how to wear matte foundation if you have dry skin. Tips, tricks, and all the techniques I use to wear matte foundation comfortably with dry skin and to make it look amazing. So let's go ahead and get into it.
The times we had, I see it now, I see it now.
Let's go ahead and get started. I've already done my eye look. Almost already done my eye look. If you want to see how I did that, go ahead and check out my BoxyCharm video. First things first, when you are wanting to wear matte foundation, it's really important that you go in with an incredibly hydrating primer. I do have a video explaining some of the best hydrating primers you can buy for dry skin. Right now, I am in the middle of between this Dewy Too Faced Tutti Frutti. Oh, it's one of my favorites. They might not sell this anymore. So another option is this Too Faced Hangover Replenishing Face Primer. But use whatever face primer that hydrates your skin. That's going to be the key to create that perfect base for our matte foundation. This one just has the lightest scent, and I just love how it offers not only those hydrating effects, but also it has that luminosity. So we're adding some of that glitter, that glow. It's not really glitter, I guess I should say it's shimmer because it's not super chunky. Now that our primer is completely on, it's really important. I will always say that it is so important with dry skin, especially depending on the degree of your dry skin. I have like a normalish dry skin, so it's not cracking and peeling as long as I keep up on top of my, skincare routine, is when you're picking out your matte foundation. So I have a couple options here. I have an affordable option and then I have a more of a splurge. Let's start with the splurge. This is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Weightless Liquid Foundation. I love this. It applies so beautifully with a brush. It's a really lightweight, and that's what we're looking for with matte foundations. There are a lot that are heavier, and those we're going to want to stay away from. But this one's really lightweight. It's thin and beautiful. About $40, I believe, for this. Now, a direct dupe, I would say, and one of my absolute favorites, is this Maybelline Dream Urban Cover Full Coverage Protective Sunscreen Foundation. This is actually my second bottle of this. I just picked it up because I loved it that much. And so this is kind of what I gravitate toward and have been all summer long. As I was saying with the lightweight foundation, this works really well with a brush too. Usually a brush does apply product thicker, but with this, it just seems to evenly disperse out the product really easily. But I'm gonna go in with a beauty blender today because of my lack of clean foundation brushes. A beauty blender is great for matte foundations though, because it's going to apply that thin layer. It's not going to leave a lot of excess, which would give you the buildup and the cakey look. My shade is number 228 Tan, and I just put that on my hand like so. Start applying. See how this just applied? I just love it. The scent, it doesn't have a scent. They didn't apply any. At least I don't think that they put in any added fragrance. Last night I was looking up all the ingredients on this and I got halfway through the list before I fell asleep. So this is one layer. See, you can still see some of my freckles, but just barely. It's very breathable. I'd say medium coverage. You could build this up if you wanted to. Keep in mind, the more you build a foundation up, the more it's going to be able to settle into fine lines, creases, it'll crease, wrinkles, things like that. So the thinner, the better, because we're still going to add on layers like concealer and all of that fun stuff.
Now I'll break through to show to you that I'm more good than I am bad. I'll work it out.
And especially around your nose, use the sponge, pick that up. And these sponges, oh, whoa, where'd it go? You don't need to go out and buy a $20 beauty blender. I recently did a video on these beauty blender dupes. They're from Amazon, and I'll have them linked down below. All right, so this is where we are at with the matte foundation. See how it just looks thinner? The layer just looks thinner. That's kind of where we want it. And then with concealer, it's really good to go in with something hydrating as well, since we're wearing that matte foundation. Like if we went in with a Tarte Shape Tape, something really thick and full coverage, those layers are just going to start building up. So I'm using this Tarte Hydro Sealer. I really like this. It's a medium coverage concealer. Like it still brightens, but it's not heavy. You know what I mean? I really like this. I actually wish I got the full size of this, but it is one that I would definitely buy a full size of. because I don't have anything like it. Next step is the setting powder. Whew, this is an important step in the process. If you use something full-blown heavy like Laura Mercier, anything that's meant to soak up oils, it's not going to do you any favors. So I recommend a couple things. First and foremost, I recommend a really nice, thin, loose hydrating powder, which I have a couple options. This is a splurge. This is the Hourglass Veil translucent powder. Then I have the Wet n Wild translucent photo focus powder. This is lightweight as well, which I was absolutely shocked with. So I like to just take a small little pointer brush. This is the Real Techniques contour brush. It just fits perfectly, and I just like to set where I put my concealer, like underneath my eyes, my forehead. And then if you feel actually where the foundation is, you really don't need to set it. Just where the concealer is, I feel like I need to set that down. All right, now that I finished with the base, I'm going to hop off camera and do the rest of my makeup, and I will be right back. We are back. I just finished my makeup. I'll tell you really quick what I used, and then we'll go in and talk about setting sprays. So I didn't use any other setting powder before I went in with a bronzer, which was awesome because this matte foundation just settled in nice and fine. I went in with my Hourglass bronzer. This is the Hourglass Radiant Bronze Light. Oh, love this one. Big pan, and it is expensive, but if you have dry skin and you do have like luminosity issues after you apply bronzers, this one is great because when you apply it, it just gives that glow from within, which I absolutely love. Great for dry skin. And then for blush, I went in with this Anastasia at Beverly Hills Glow Kit, and I just went in with this pink shade right here. It's called Spoiled. They don't sell this anymore, but I've been trying to get through that. Brows, I switched up. I ran out of my tried and true Total Temptation, but I went back to this Goof Proof Brow Pencil by Benefit, and I thought my brows turned out really well. And I always set that with my 24-hour brow setter just to get, you know, a more bushy-like effect. Highlight, I went in with my Hourglass Ghost palette. I do have a video on this going over it, and I used, ooh, I just gotta be able to open it, right? I use this shade right here, and this is the Strobe Powder Iridescent Strobe Light, so it's like their highlighter, and it just looks really pretty. Went in with my L'Oreal Double Extend, and my mascara did get on my eye, but I mean, there's no way to get it off at this point. Oh, lip color. I went in with my ColourPop Cream Luxe Lip in What's Your Sign. I know, I go through some of the same things over and over again just because I know they work. Next, we're gonna talk about setting mist. So setting mist is a crucial part when you're wearing a matte foundation. I even feel like with a dewy foundation, you need to use a setting spray because it's going to melt together your powder products. So like your bronzer, your blush, your highlight, you really want to melt those all together to create a really seamless, cohesive skin-like effect. So there's a few I recommend. So my absolute favorite is this Luminous Setting Spray by Morphe. This one is phenomenal. The price is great. I think it's about $16, really cheap. The sprayer on this is just the finest mist. I do have this Huda Beauty coconut one if you like to splurge a little bit more, things like that. None of these are going to extend the length of your makeup, but melting the powders is huge. Another one I recommend is this Dewy Set by Anastasia Beverly Hills. If you want to refer back to any of these setting sprays that I recommend, I do have a video on my channel that I'll have linked down below about the best setting sprays to use for dry skin. One of the ones that I really like to just use to refresh my makeup throughout the day is this Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Ultra Fine Mist. With these matte foundations, I just like to carry this with me. Just throw it in your bag or something, keep it in your car, because when you go to look in the mirror in a couple hours, you're going to start looking more matte and powdery, and that's when one of these sprays come to play. So easy to just refresh, bring that matte foundation back to life. You're still having that matte finish. So those are my tips and tricks on how to wear matte foundation if you have dry skin. Keep in mind about really priming well with the Hydrating Primer, going in with a thin layer of a lightweight matte foundation, going in with a lightweight thin setting powder, and then just using a really awesome hydrating setting spray and then reapplying that throughout the day. I hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.